Hey guys, I want to cover just two quick things in this video. First of all, I set up this entrepreneurial and business playlist, and it contains a bunch of videos right now of 13, evil 13. Anyway, we're going to have to add some more in here. Let me know if this type of playlist is interesting to you. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, then you've probably seen most of these. And also just give me a general idea whether or not business-oriented and entrepreneur-oriented videos are interesting to you, because I've been a developer since the 90s, but I've actually been an entrepreneur for longer. So let me dovetail into the subject of bitconnect. You've heard about this cryptocurrency ponzi scheme where they promise, I think it was 1% return per day guaranteed. You know, that brings up the oldest rule in business. If it's too good to be true. A lot of people got nailed on this, and it's bad. I think that financial illiteracy, desperation to make quick money is the reason why you see these type of Ponzi schemes exist. And I work in education, as you may or may not know. I work for a whole bunch of schools. One of the things I've been talking about for years is that they should have basic financial literacy taught from elementary school. Why? So that this stuff is absorbed, is understood, so that people will be much less likely to get scammed if they just have a basic understanding of business. Now, in extension, let me just say that cryptocurrencies, in my humble opinion, the cryptocurrencies are all BS as well. I know a lot of people get angry. I'm not saying blockchain is BS. Blockchain is a technology, a distributed database, and I don't claim to be an expert in blockchain tech, but it's a database, it's distributed, and it definitely has application in the real world. Now, the resulting coins, quote, coins in quotes, tokens, whether it be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, whatever coin, this is just a classic psychologically driven mania. You have to ask yourself, at one point a few weeks ago, the founder, one of the co-founders of Ripple, one of the top 4 or 5 cryptos, this guy, this founder, was worth as much as Mark Zuckerberg for a while. And Mark Zuckerberg is the biggest shareholder of one of the most profitable and one of the biggest companies in the world that makes billions and billions and billions of dollars every year. So on the flip side, you got this guy who's the CEO of a cryptocurrency, Ripple, where it doesn't actually do much in the market, doesn't do anything. Anybody can create a competitive version of Ripple or any other coin in an instant. It's silliness. That's an ultimate example of how silly this whole space is. Again, from the point of view of somebody here, me, who's been in business for 28 years, I've seen manias like this occur on a few occasions. And the reasons that they give you, what you read, you hear about all these YouTube guys and elsewhere, why it's going up, is the same exact reasons that they gave for all those other manias that have appeared in time. And the results are always the same. But don't take my word for it. The most famous and apparently most successful investor of all time, Warren Buffett, believes what I believe. You see, an asset is something that has a value based on its ability to produce some sort of service or some sort of good. In the parlance of the Wall Streeters, of the traders, you're looking for a yield. What kind of money can a particular asset throw off? So stocks, you buy stocks, in theory, you get a dividend. You're getting a piece of the company's profitability in the dividend. You buy bonds, you're getting interest paid to you by some government entity or some big corporation. You buy gold and silver, at least gold and silver, there's a speculative gambling aspect to it. Speculation is a fancy Wall Street term for gambling. Just like you're gambling on the horses that go around the track, or in China where they gamble on whether the praying mantis wins the fight or not. So speculation, another word for gambling, and in gold and silver markets, there is an element of speculation. There always is. It's human nature. Why is gambling so prevalent in humankind? Well, because of something basic to all animals, basic to chickens and rats and chimpanzees and humans. And what is that basic instinct? Is something called, and expressed in psychology rather, something called a mixed variable payoff matrix. I studied psychology in university. So that is why all the speculation is so addictive to everybody. Cheap, easy rewards, quick rewards of uncertain value coming at you at an uncertain time is very addictive to even rats. So in gold and silver, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, there was this huge run-up, not as much as Bitcoin and the cryptos, but there was a huge run-up. And again, all the people who were pro gold and silver were all giving the same exact reasons, just about, that you see the crypto guys are giving about cryptocurrencies. And eventually the speculative bubble burst. Poof. You never know when, because it's a psychological event. When you see stocks, Bitcoins, cryptocurrencies, gold, silver, oil, whatever, when you ever see something spike up in value super fast, like you saw in cryptos, you know that's all emotionally driven, as opposed to the boring stocks like ExxonMobil or, I don't know, pick any of these old stocks, McDonald's, Exxon, where they're kind of boring. They don't go up very fast, very slow, but they pay you a dividend. That, you know, is based on fundamentals. You know that when the stock is just hovering along, not very exciting, you know that its price is actually a price based on actual fundamentals, based on an actual value in the underlying assets, whether it be stocks or commodities or whatever. But when you see something go parabolic, when you see something spike up like crazy, I'm talking about the chart, you know that's an emotional event, and anything emotional is very volatile. So you have to be very careful about these situations. And as I said in previous vlogs on cryptocurrencies, I had mentioned that you had to be very cautious about the cryptocurrencies. And since that video came out, the price of Bitcoin has been basically cut in half. Now the Bitcoin proponents say, it's going to go back up. Yeah, manias can continue for a while. But I'm telling you, there's really no value to Bitcoin, because its value, well, let me scratch that. The value of Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies is that you're expecting somebody else to pay more for them. But in of themselves, they don't really do anything special. The underlying blockchain is interesting technology which will be implemented. Most of the people that are invested in cryptocurrencies, based on a report I read, I think one of the major banks, Wells Fargo, I think, did the analysis, are young guys, 20s, early 30s. And they're the ones that get caught up in this because they've never seen these type of manias before. And as I said, manias could go on for a while, but eventually they bust because, again, you have to ask yourself, how special are these coins if anybody can produce a coin pretty easily? And why would a bank or financial institution pay you huge amount of money for the Ripple coin so that they can do transactions when they could just create their own database of coins and call it whatever they want to call it and back it by whatever they want to call it? Mediums of exchange, currencies, are not good currencies if they fluctuate like crazy. And that's why the cryptocurrencies there's such a mania, because they fluctuate, because people want to buy into that huge growing value in cryptos. Now here you hear about the cryptocurrency millionaires. Yeah, it's like you hear about the people who win the lotteries. People do win the lotteries. People do come out of it. And some people will come out winners in the cryptocurrency bet. I think most of the winners have already taken their position years ago. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Most fortunes are made through the slow and steady process. And as a friend of mine said, who I used to play a lot of poker with, he says, when you gamble, and you gamble heavy, eventually you're going to lose.